Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the home of cheesesteaks and soft pretzels. Our control room really wants me to rap. Last week, I don't know, I was inspired and I rapped. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Plus, I can't think of any words that rhyme at the moment, so I'll just leave it alone and move on. Good morning to you and welcome back to American Sunrise, everyone. I'm Terrence Bates. We really appreciate you being here with us. It is now time for today's health news, which is sponsored by the Wellness Company. And under the microscope today is a new medical breakthrough that can reportedly create universal kidneys for organ transplants. Yeah, that's right. You heard it right. According to a new piece that's published in the journal Nature Medical Engineering, there could be a way to form organs from the original blood type into a universal one that anyone can take into their body. There's reportedly a new perfusion device that scientists are working on to convert a kidney with the type A blood and make it type O blood. A transplant was done into a brain-dead patient who had family consent. On the third day, there was a mild immune system response, but much milder than originally expected. The implications of this breakthrough could be a medical game changer. We'll, of course, continue to monitor it as more research is done. In the meantime, a new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there is only so much the government can do, and that if you really want to keep America safe and keep yourself healthy, well, it starts in your very own home. That's where the Wellness Company comes in to help as well, though. You can see and hear from TWC doctors all the time here on this network, and you, of course, know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits. These kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist you in the proper use of the medications inside. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss products, and all of this can help you stay healthy and live a much longer and more satisfying life. So make America healthy again. It starts at your home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. You can start by going to www.twc.health/RAV. Order today. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV to save 10%. All right, let's send things over to David. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right, so House Speaker Mike Johnson called the No Kings rallies over the weekend a political stunt by the Democrats. Take a look at this.
A collection of folks that I listed were certainly part of it. We congratulate them on a apparently violent free speech exercise. I was a First Amendment lawyer for 20 years. We defend that right. But the irony of the message is pretty clear for everyone. If President Trump was a king, the government would be open right now. If President Trump was a king, they would not have been able to engage in that free speech exercise out on the mall, by the way, which was open because President Trump hasn't closed it. In the last shutdown, 2013 era, President Obama closed the National Mall, it closed all the national parks, didn't allow people to engage in all this. So, I mean, they needed a stunt, they needed a show. Chuck Schumer needs cover right now. He's closed the government down because he needs political cover, and this was a part of it.
All right, well, for more, let's bring in Republican strategist and fellow for the Independent Women's Forum. That would be Nicole Coppola. Nicole, great to see you. So I was in Manhattan over the weekend. The wonderful timing. I wasn't at the No Kings rally. Don't worry. I wasn't like with them or anything, but here's some pictures that I took. I literally was taking my granddaughters to Aladdin at 42nd Street. I'm like, oh, great. We picked the 2 p.m. matinee right in the middle of this stuff. So my 6-year-old and 3-year-old granddaughters got to see MAGA equals treason signs. Try explaining that to a 3-year-old. And then, you know, some other signs there as well. I must tell you, the pumpkin is rotten. They were clever. I will say this. Look, I thought a couple of things when I was there. First of all, and I don't want to say good for them, but why not? Good for them. By the way, reveal your face on that one. And I say good for them because, you know what? Look, if they're not violent, and they weren't violent, then this is democracy in action. I'm okay with this. We are all okay with this because guess what? We're conservatives and we believe in freedom of speech. By the way, 8647 might have been too much, considering that would be basically a call to assassinate the president. But overall, this was very, very peaceful. So I'm okay with that. And I'm curious to get your take on it. I will say, though, that my concern is that these folks really not only don't have a clue, but the Democrat Party, if they're looking to get back in power, this is not the way, because quite frankly, these folks, the far left, they're the activists. They care about this stuff, but there's not enough of them in this country. But they are active. The problem is they don't have the numbers.
Well, thank God the protests were peaceful this time. But look, I think these protests are a very strong example of how the left's psychology works, because they project their own actions and feelings onto others. This is the hypocrisy of it, right? They call President Trump authoritarian while they've cheered on the weaponization and politicization of institutions to go after their political opponents. They've, doxed law enforcement, called for violence against them. They've censored pretty much any viewpoint they don't like. And that's the hypocrisy, because that's the actual tyranny here. The real authoritarianism is actually coming from these so-called quote unquote defenders of democracy. And the irony is that I don't know what they're protesting. You said it. President Trump's presidency has always been about returning power to the people. It's the opposite of what a king would do, what an authoritarian would do. From deregulation to border security to restoring free speech, everything the president does rebalances power away from unelected bureaucrats.
Yeah. Nicole, you've kind of touched on my next question. It seems to me, in the face of these No Kings rallies, the best thing for Republicans to do, top to bottom, is continue to move full steam ahead with their policies and with the agenda. In your mind, what's probably the most urgent thing Republicans need to focus on or need to continue to push in terms of agenda items?
Well, I think the president has accomplished, so much just in these last few months, from brokering now 8 peace deals to, securing our border. You had border crossings down by 99.99%. He's tackled the drug crisis, the fentanyl crisis in this country head on by targeting narco terrorists. So he's revived the economy. He's done so much, but I think we have to go full steam ahead, keep going with those deportations, keep reviving the economy, just keep going with the Ukraine and Russia negotiations. I think the president is actually close to securing peace there. So there's still so much to do, but the president has some time. And with the pace that he's going at, I think he's going to be continue to be incredibly successful by the time this term is up.
Nicole, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for your insight. This is a conversation we could probably have for the next 24 hours in terms of pushing it back against these radical leftists. But unfortunately, we don't have that kind of time. It is paid TV and we got to pay some commercials. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Nicole.
Always. All right, folks, coming up, the Pentagon is calling out Netflix for producing woke garbage like their new gay-themed military drama, Boots. The details are next here on American Sunrise. And we also leave you with President Trump's response to the No Kings rally. Here it is.